Sisovath Monivong, December 27, 1875 to April 24, 1941, was the king of Cambodia from August 9, 1927 until his death in 1941. During his reign, Cambodia was a French protectorate. Monivong was the grandson of the poet King Ong Duong, grandfather of Norodom Sihanouk, and the great-grandfather of the current king, Norodom Sihamoni. His full regnal title and style was Priya Bet Samdak Priya Siri Manavarman Krom Wangchok Chakar Bangsa Sisovath Monivong Ne Priya Richi Anachak Kampuchea, which can be literally translated from Khmerized Sanskrit as His Majesty, Glorious Lord Scholar Protector, His Highness, Lord of Land and Sea, Sisovath Monivong of the Kingdom of Kampuchea. He is the last monarch from the House of Sisovath. Life. Born in Phnom Penh in 1875, Sisovath Monivong was the sixth child and the second son of King Sisovath. His mother was Neek Muniangvan, later titled Samdech Priya Voriachini, the fifth childbearing wife of Sisovath. At that time his uncle King Norodom ruled from Odong, the capital of Cambodia. Norodom was a puppet king for the French colonial protectorate. In 1884, after the French conquered Laos and occupied Vietnam, Cambodia became a direct colonial possession. The royal family then moved from Odong to the new capital of Phnom Penh, where Sisovath Monivong, in 1904, both of his uncles and his elder brother Esravon died, resulting in Sisovath Monivong becoming the crown prince of Cambodia. In 1906, he traveled with his father, King Sisovath, to France. There he was admitted to the military school of St. Maxent. He graduated 2 years later with the rank sous-lieutenant in the Foreign Legion. He was then posted to Brive and later to Paris. In 1909, he returned to Cambodia. In 1910, he was promoted to lieutenant, in 1916 to captain, and finally, in 1922, to chief of battalion. The same year, he was released from military service. During the First World War, he actively recruited volunteer military personnel and workers. These services were recognized with the Cross of Commander of the Foreign Legion and the Cambodian title of Samdech Priya Kiafia. He was then appointed Secretary General of the Council of Ministers and President of the Council of the Royal Family. Monivong had many consorts, at least 6 of whom were granted official recognition, having borne children to him. One of these was a woman named Meek, a member of the Royal Ballet, who was given the title Kun Priya Muniang Bofa Norlik Meek. Meek bore Monivong's son, Prince Sisovath Kuzarak, in 1926. Around 1934 to 1935, 2 of her young cousins came to live with her, a common Cambodian custom. Monivong died on April 23, 1941 at the age of 65 at Bakar Mountain, which was renamed Priya Monivong National Park in his honor. Reign. In 1927, Sisovath Monivong's father died, so at age 52 Sisovath Monivong ascended to the throne. Like his father and his uncle, Monivong was simply a figurehead for the French administration and, in the words of one author, Monivong caused the French no trouble. The real power was in the hands of the French resident general. The king was surrounded by his royal council, composed of his cousins, Sisovath Rathari, father of Sisovath Sirik Matak, Sisovath Wachebabong, Norodom Fanubong, Norodom Suramarid, and Norodom Singara. It was during Monivong's rule that Cambodia became open to outside communist influences. In 1930, the Vietnamese leader Ho Chi Minh founded the Indochina Communist Party, which subsequently obtained popularity in Cambodia. The Cambodian Communists' primary objective was to overthrow the French. In 1940, when France fell to Nazi Germany, the Vichy France regime took power in the unoccupied parts of France in its overseas colonies, including Cambodia. In the late 1930s, a powerless Monivong noticed that Japan was making inroads in Vietnam. Japan then invaded and occupied Cambodia in early 1941. The Japanese allowed Cambodian Vichy French officials to administer, but only under Japanese protection. The Cambodian king was beholden to the Vichy French, who were in turn beholden to the Japanese. In western Cambodia, Thailand, now an ally of the Japanese, occupied territory. As the Japanese and Thai oppression of Cambodians became evident, Sisovath Monivong retired to Kampot in late 1941 and died at Bokor the same year. He died taking the posthumous title of Priya Karuna Priya Sisovath Monivong Priya Katayakat. His son Sisovath Monireth was the heir to the throne, but the French authorities chose Sisovath Kosamak's 19-year-old son Norodom Sihanouk to succeed him instead, mistakenly believing that he would be more pliable than Monireth. Two of his children, Sisovath Monireth and Sisovath Monipong, would go on to serve as prime minister.